'Tis the season for holiday hacks, and we're joined by Dr. Frank Dockler from Broadview Health Center. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, you as well. You as well.
All right, so we were talking about food and flowers in that previous segment, and we're talking about food right now. And I think the timing is perfect because as the holidays approach, I know I'm guilty of this. I end up eating more than I probably should, but you have tips and tricks on how to stay healthy all throughout the holiday season this year.
I mean, it's the holidays, right? So we're going to enjoy ourselves. And the average person over the holidays between Thanksgiving and New Year's puts on 7 pounds.
Wow.
That's the average weight gain during that time.
But how many weeks is that?
That's what, 4, 5, 6 weeks over that time?
Okay, that's
but
a
it's
lot.
the choices.
Right.
So there's little things that we can do. And if you think of it in terms of your blood sugar.
Yeah.
So if we're concentrating on keeping that blood sugar at least controlled to some degree, then everything else starts to make sense. So we have basically 5 rules that we'll share with some of our patients and our weight management patients to help them through the holidays. It's not designed to lose weight, but it is designed to keep it under control and keep your blood sugar under control, because when your blood sugar goes up, your body wants to store that fat instead.
And I think that is the tricky part, because you have your aunts that are making their special cookies, you have, you're drinking more wine, you're trying to revel in the season, but then you're going to end up paying for it later.
Exactly. And those little pounds each and every year, 1 pound, 2 pounds over a period of a decade can add to 20, 30, 40 pounds really quickly.
Wow. All right, so let's get into the 5 tips you mentioned.
So rule number 1 is we say protein or over your carbohydrates. So your proteins like your turkey, if you're going to be snacking, good cheeses, olives, healthy fats, and even your vegetables. Now I say carbohydrates, what I'm really referring to are the things like the mashed potatoes and the stuffing and those the pies. So if we try to focus and satiate our appetite with the turkey and with healthy fats and using the butter, you're going to be far better off.
Now, I'd imagine that it varies per person, but is there a general amount of protein that a person should consume?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of it depends on your size and your activity levels, but on average, if you take your total body weight and cut that in half, in ounces per day.
Okay, so protein over carbs.
Protein over carbohydrates.
Tip number 2.
Tip number 2, if you're going to have the carbohydrates, the stuffings, the mashed potatoes, it'll at the very least stay to whole foods. Whole foods are far more important. So this over here is a homemade sourdough bread, as opposed to the stuffings. Use that bread to make your stuffing. You can control the ingredients a lot better, as opposed to the instant potatoes. Use regular potatoes or sweet potatoes. Those are going to also, because of the fiber content, help to keep that insulin level down and not push your body into a storage mode, and actually make you more hungry as well.
See, and I think the tricky part too is we're like, this will be easier.
Exactly.
But it ends up not being good for you overall.
You don't control the ingredients, and most of these products are going to have large amounts of sugar, MSG, different things to preservatives, and those will actually cause a lower metabolic rate and inflammation within the system, which will also cause insulin levels to go up and push your body into storage.
All right, tip number 3.
Tip number 3 is water. We all know this. Lots of water. So when you eat something, your body can only really do 3 things with it. It's going to burn it for energy, it's going to store it for energy, or you're going to excrete it. So as it breaks down, water helps to go ahead and flush those things out of your system. If you're going to have any alcohol, I do recommend, as opposed to soda pops or your higher calorie beers, even a wine, a red wine. And your dry reds are going to tend to be a little more what they call ketogenic friendly, keeping your insulin down. But again, always lots of water in between the meals. If you're going to have a drink, have a glass of water in between each of those, and help the liver and kidneys kind of flush that from your system.
Does it matter if it's just distilled water like this or if it's a sparkling water? Because I find that's the only way I can get my kids to drink water.
It's not going to be as good as just regular water, that's for sure. But you know what? Add a little bit of lemon to it or some lime to it. Maybe get them to drink that.
And then what's the last tip?
Well, we got 2 more. 1, portion control. I got portion control. So take your portions, go back for seconds. If you're hungry, I always say give 10 minutes between plate number 1 and plate number 2. And
your eyes are always bigger than your stomach.
Exactly.
Right?
And there's lots of food there, more than we normally have at home.
One of everything.
Right. So small amounts at a time. Take your favorites, go back up if you need. And last but not least, weigh yourself. Many people just forget to weigh themselves.
It says daily.
Daily.
I feel like I don't want to do that, Doc.
I know you don't want to. Most of us don't want to do that, but ask yourself why you don't want to do that.
Can I do it just once a week, same time?
So when you weigh yourself every day, especially during the holiday, it's creating intention. It's making you aware of what's going on. So you're a lot more likely, if you see the scale start to creep up on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to say, you know what? maybe I'll take it easy. Maybe I won't have the pizza at the football game.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't have the extra beer or whatever. So weigh yourself and be accountable to yourself.
Perfect. So again, Broadview Health Center, you're located on West Royalton Road
West Road.
in Broadview Heights.
Broadview Heights.
Doc, thank you so much. So many
Thank you.
great tips that I'm sure many of us can take into the holiday season and beyond.
I hope
Thanks
so.
so much.